Alright, so the first step that we're going to do when solving a quadratic equation by completing the square is moving the constant to the other side of the equation. So if I draw that, I'm moving just the constant to the other side. I'm going to rewrite this with a space after 12x. Notice I've got a space, and that's negative 21. So now let's go on to step 2. So step 2, there's a few parts to it. Step 2 is really identify the middle term coefficient. Okay, well here's the middle term, here is the middle term coefficient. Okay, is 12, positive 12. Now step 2a is going to be take 12. Okay, so we knew that that was 12. So we're going to take 12 and we're going to divide it in 2, which makes 6. And then we're going to take 6 and we're going to square it. So 6 squared equals 36. Now for step 3, which is really quite simple, we just add to both sides the number 36. So again, like I said, we're adding 36 to both sides for step 3, and we are going to solve this. So we've got x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals, what is that, 10, 15? Okay. Now, step 4 is to create, so step 4 is creating a perfect square. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this right here and go, oh, well that's x plus 6 times x plus 6 equaling 15, which is x plus 6 quantity squared equals 15. So now we're on to step 5. Step 5 is quite nice because all it wants us to do, I'm going to put this in, so step 5 is just square root both sides. So that is step 5. So when I square root both sides, square root and square root, the squaring of a square root, or the square root of a square, or however you want to say that, basically just cancels those out, leaving us with x plus 6. And remember, when we take the square root of something, it can be both positive and negative. Finally, the step 6, which I'm not going to write out because it's pretty straightforward, is you subtract 6 from both sides to isolate x, and you got negative 6 plus minus the square root of 15. At this point, what you need to do is you need to figure out what is the square root of 15 equal to. Okay? So the square root of 15 is 3.87. So this is going to turn into two equations. Okay, it's going to turn into negative 6 plus 3.87, and it's going to turn into negative 6 minus 3.87. So again, you just plug and chug that into a calculator, and what we're going to get here is 2.13 because I round up, and then this is going to be negative 9.87. And there are your two answers. Okay, so let's do this as a recap without all those step sequences in, just so that you can see it. Here we go. We've got x squared plus 12x plus 21 equals 0. First thing I'm going to do is move the constant to the right. That gives me x squared plus 12x, leave a space, equals negative 21. I then am going to take the middle term. I'm going to take the middle term, divide it by 2, and square the whole thing, which is going to give me 36, because 12 divided 2 is 6, and 6 squared is 36. And I'm going to add 36 to both sides. What this does is it gives me x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 15. From here, I am going to, I could do a box method to solve this, but I can see that this is 6 times 6, and I know 6 plus 6 is 12, and so 6 and 6, which makes the perfect square. X plus 6 quantity squared equals 15, and then I just square root this and I square root this. That gives us x plus 6 equals plus or minus the square root of 15. I subtract 6 from both sides. This leads us to x equaling negative 6 plus square root of 15, comma, negative 6 minus square root of 15. And there you have it. And then obviously, again, you just plug that into a calculator and let the calculator kick out an answer for you.